All right, guys. So it says we are live. Welcome to Religion Wink TV, where my spiritual ear says, "Shalom, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the latest Sinkhole that will be down in South America and why it exists." And I'm going to go a little biblical and godly on you a little bit this morning. Happy Sunday, and thank you to the one person in the chat. I'm going to set my timer for 30 minutes and get the hell up off of here. Now, I hope everybody is well. We have three options, okay? I've been going back listening to some of the audio on the latest live streams, doing it this way. And basically, I don't want to pay for StreamYard. StreamYard is full of shit to me. Every time I have the free plan, they always say I go through the 20 hours within 5 hours, okay? And it be pissing me off. So I said, I'm going to leave StreamYard alone. My 20 hours reboot again on August 14th, okay? We can do it this way. I'm streaming with a webcam that has a built-in microphone. That could be the issue as well because the laptop, the Chromebook has a microphone built in, so they could be clashing. Some of y'all may say it's my voice. I get it. I get it. Whatever it is, you guys are visual and you guys want to see, what I'm talking about. So this is the way I came up with where I can stream through Studio and still give you visualization. Also, I can come on camera and then I'm up close and personal, really with the webcam hooked up to the desktop with the better microphone. I'll be sitting right up on your neck, okay? And I know some of you don't want that as well. But I won't really be able to show you anything. I'll just basically be able to read my articles, and you guys know everything I use is always linked down in the description box. And then there's uploading. I have Filmora, but I did not pay for that yet. So basically, it has the watermark on it, and it's a pretty big watermark. I haven't been able to find out or figure out how to reduce it a little bit, or if that's their standard watermark, which goes across the whole freaking um, video, a big blue strip saying Filmora, Wondershare, right? So, but the audio is very clear and the quality of the picture is clear as well. So there's three ways. You guys let me know what's better for you because I feel like once I can connect with you guys with my audio, visual, and my personality, you guys may come over here, subscribe, like, share, comment, and get this kind of message out there. All right, and with that being said, I set my alarm. Let's go ahead and get into this video. Now, we're going to be talking about the latest sinkhole here and let's see, the black hole of Chile, which we all know is down on South America. 82 foot wide, 82 feet wide, 650 feet deep sinkhole appears near a small town. Now, this was written by David Abier. And it was done on August 2nd, 2022. Okay. So this story has been out for a little while, a couple days at least. Shout out to my son. It's his birthday today. Shout out to you, Cheese. Happy birthday. So in this article, you're going to learn that an 82-foot wide hole mysteriously appeared on Saturday in the commune, in the town, in the area, in the region of Tierra Amarilla, Atacama, that region. Also, they call it a phenomenon, a terrifying phenomenon. It took place close to this Alcaparusa mine. Okay, and it sounds a little apocalyptic to me right there, you all. And it's thought to be more than 650 feet deep. Who in the hell created something like this? How did they measure it? How do they know how deep it is? So I started doing a little research, and I told you I always go to God and like, what's up with this? Shout out to the one person in the chat. Thanks for the thumbs up. I always be like, what's up with this sinkhole going on, right? And we start having this little conversation because Isaiah 1 and 18 says, "Come now, let us reason together." And the church tell you don't question God. So somebody lying. And if God is not a man that he should lie, nor the son of man that he should repent, who you think I'm going with on that? God said, let us reason. So I always go to God first. And that's all I'm encouraging y'all to do. With any conversation, relationship, getting into business, buying a house, renting, dating, going out to celebrate, whatever. It's some weird, crazy, strange things going on in this world. And your safety is better than you going out living your best life. Protection and it is better than you going out encountering these strange things. That's just me. All right. So I went to God. I said, "What's up with this sinkhole?" So, initially I said, "All right, is there anything in the Bible about sinkholes?" And then I go on to say, "Well, lead me to his spirit." And we start to do a little research, both in the spirit and what's out in the universe for us to, bring you these little receipts or whatever. So I hope you guys can really hear me. Hold on one second. I hope you guys can really, really hear me. And a lot of people they don't care about things like this, which again, there's nothing new under the sun. And when I heard Joe basically speaking from a place of discouragement and distraught and basically trying to bring a curse upon himself, he actually asked the Lord to make this like black hole or darkness come upon his light lighted world, right? His world of lightness. So we're gonna get, like I said, let me get this up right here. I just want to hear if you guys can hear me clear enough. Shout out to the one person in the chat. So we're gonna talk about sinkholes, science, God, and all right. For the most part, it sounds all right. I explained the audio, the visual, and everything else about this channel in the beginning of this video. There's 3 ways we can live stream. I'm the most comfortable with this right now. So there's an 82-foot wide sinkhole, 650 feet deep. All right, and this is what it looks like from an aerial view, from an overhead view. It's symmetrically even around the sides. I mean, what in the world? I know God can create something like this, but God isn't about destroying the world or the lands. He was about putting people in the land to uphold it and make it a better place through his word and his son Yeshua the Christ, right? But then I'm going to show you where church comes along and says, no, we can make you better people than God can. You need to sign up to Jesus and come to our church so we can make this world a better place. And we're going to hear in some of the commentary that there's a falling away, not so much from God, but from the church and from the wickedness and from people, being amongst the wolves in sheep clothing when God said, come from amongst them. So this sinkhole, an enormous sinkhole. Again, this article is by David Avere, and I will have everything linked down below at the end of this video. All right. This is written out of the dailymail.com. An enormous sinkhole linked to a copper mine in northern Chile, which materialized this weekend, has been captured in stunning new images. Now, you think it come from the mine? You think it come from Chile? There's people in this world that have been messing with the universe, have been trying to copy and mimic the things that God have done in this world. They have been trying to be out in space and, manipulate things. And we're going to get into this thing called the Hadron Collider, the Hadron Collider. And there may be some link to them just launching it back on April 22nd, which was Earth Day, and I'm going to show you all the receipts, to what the strange, weird things going on in this world, such as the sinkhole. So, an enormous sinkhole linked to a copper mine in northern Chile, which materialized this weekend, has been captured in stunning new images. The 80-foot wide hole mysteriously appeared on Saturday in the commune of Tierra Amarilla in the Atacama region, close to the giant Acaparusa mine, which sounds a little apocalyptic to me, and is thought to be more than 650 feet deep. Who measured it? Did they put a drone down there? Did they put a bucket down there? Did they have a measuring tape that went that deep? You know how some plumbers have a snake and they can put it down a drain and it can go all the way outside to sit different pipes in the street. Did they have a snake? How do they know? Now the measurement, I could pretty much see the top of the surface. The circumference is even. Let's go back up to it. The circumference is even around the outside, and it's possible to take that measurement, but who? Unless you created this yourself and you actually know what you use to make this happen. Or, like I said, there's some things going on in the universe that's trying to, it's a lot of magnetic energy, and there's things that this organization over in Europe somewhere called CERN have created and just launched it about 4 years back in April for it to run about 4 years. And I'm telling you, anything that opposes God and not of God is the enemy of God, and basically would be out here doing everything God say don't do, or that's against God and his word, right? Chilean media released serial images of the strange phenomenon which took place on land. Let me say something about strange phenomenon. Usually when it's destructive, it's of the devil. When it's a miracle and bring light, it's possibly and most likely of God, right? Now, God had brought signs and wonders that led to destruction, but it was in war against Pharaoh and other gods out here that wanted to come up against him and his people. Let's make that very clear. All right. So it says this Chilean media released serial images of the strange phenomenon which took place on land operated by a Canadian London mining copper mine about 413 miles north of the capital, Santiago. All right, so now they said took place on lands. And I'm going to show you a video where there was a black hole that came about in the sky. And I'm going to show you in the Bible where Job, he got so distraught in himself that he basically was like, God, let a black hole, let a black mass, let the darkness come upon my darkness. So, if we were supposed to have these black holes and these sinkholes of darkness and black matter around us, Job would not have to have, in a sense, cursing himself, beg God for this to come upon us. Did they probably exist? Yeah, because he wouldn't have asked God to bring it. But was it meant for us to reside in and dwell in? No, it wasn't. So, or he would have never asked God to curse him with it. We would already been living with these strange phenomenons, okay, that's now happening not only on land or in the sky, I should say, or in the mind of a person, but where most things generate and manifest themselves, right? But it's also happening on land. All right, and see, with God being able to create the universe and have this black matter, have these stars, very well could be have been a fallen star. We don't know, because they get a little uptight and caught up in their feelings up there in the sky. There's wars still going on all around us. We don't know what this is, but we know. What we do know, y'all, God says, and let me get to it. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. I am the one who is, who always was, and who is still to come. the Almighty One. And I think, according to Revelations 1 and 8, science said, oh, yeah, God, we're going to prove you something wrong. And started to become their own God against God of the universe. Start manipulating the universe. Start sending earthly things and people out into the universe to discover some, new life or whatever. When God says He's Alpha and the Omega, beginning and the end. So no matter what you see between now and whenever, when God calls you home or whatever, or they somehow destroyed this world, who they said God loved so much He gave His only begotten Son. But if that's the case, why would they need the church to make us a better place, and or science to be our God, to be our message? Because science is trying to give men uterus and allow them to have babies, and that's not of God. So that's one way you can see where science opposes God. God made the woman to come down according to the Garden of Eden and have labor pains and bring forth the baby. If God wanted men to do that, He would allow it to be so when He first created us, right? So the Alpha and the Omega. So now that we're talking about this latest sinkhole right here, which happened, um, quote, we are concerned since it is a fear that we have always had as a community. The fact we are surrounded by mining deposits and subterranean works under our community. Not only subterranean, you under some subdemonic work as well, baby. Let me tell you. So now that we know, we're going to be talking about this 80-foot wide, 82-foot wide, 650 deep single, and that God is the Alpha and the Omega. Let's go ahead and get into this right here. All right, guys. So basically, as I was saying, okay, what about the sinkhole that just happened? What are some other strange things that came about and in 2022? There was some like testing of board games here. As you can see, black holes, woman rescue trying to retrieve iPhone. Now that was weird. Let me read that to y'all. Several firefighters in Washington state had to pull a woman out of a outhouse. Those are one of those square facilities when you're at a concert or on a work site or at a park somewhere. The outhouses, like outdoor bathrooms. So it says basically that firefighters had to pull this woman out after accidentally falling into the hole after dropping her cell phone in it. She went down the aisle. You probably urinated, put tissue down in there. I don't know how some of these things flush or work. We grew up with an outhouse and we used to have to go dump the bucket some damn where, okay? And clean it out and put another one in there. Let's keep it real. Shout out to Chatham, New York. Clark, New York. Get New York, okay? And with that being said, so her phone falls in the hole, y'all. She go down the hole behind her phone, which people can't live without their phone, and the what they have to go through to get their phone. You know what I'm saying? They will stick their hand down in the hole to get their phone, all right? And not only that, accidentally her whole body. So she must have been a tiny woman that got stuck in this hole, because most holes in outhouses aren't that big, but definitely a little infant or a child can get stuck in there, or a real tiny adult. All right, depending how far she shoved herself down in there to get her phone, right? So basically, the woman was using her cell phone in an Olympic National Forest when she fell into the toilet. When she tried to reach the phone with a dog leash, she fell into the toilet head first. Wow. Talk about strange things, right? She was pulled from the vault by firefighters using blocks and steps to reach a harness. Now listen, she does not appear to have suffered any injuries. And again, there's other things on here. James Cromwell gluing his hands to Starbucks counter. Man inhales drill during dental visit. Now that was crazy. So basically, drill bits, inhaled during a routine dental exam in Illinois have been removed via a rare procedure in a hospital. The dentist informed Jassy that he swallowed a tool while he was getting his tooth filed. Wow, tooth filled, excuse me. Unfortunately, where my little glasses at? Wow. It says, unfortunately, the drill bit was deep within his lungs and a CT scan showed he inhaled it. The bit was so deep that it could not be reached by a conventional scope, according to Dr. Abdul. Wow, and this was coming from Aurora Medical Center, Kenosha in Wisconsin. They were able to remove the object last month using a device designed to detect cancer early. Wow. 104 marathons, Roman bust found in Texas. So there is a lot going on. And there's something else going on with the Shroud of Turin. Some people think it's fake. Some people think they can replicate it. But after years of research, experts have determined that the marble bust, which was bought by Laura Young for $35 from a Goodwill store in Texas in 2018, it is an ancient Roman sculpture lost to Germany after World War II. The bust, which is currently on display at the museum in San Antonio, was found by Young at a Goodwill store in 2018. The artifact is believed to date to the 1st century BC for the 1st century AD or the 1st century AD when it was last seen in Germany. The museum reports that the experts believe the sculpture was stolen by a soldier and taken to the United States. Next year, the bust will be back in Germany after it is displayed in San Antonio. You know what? Pay the woman for her damn thing. You know it's worth a lot of money. She bought it for $35. She should capitalize on it. Who's to say it belongs to y'all? Y'all want to always blame somebody stealing something from y'all. But what about the Europeans who stole from the Israelites, the children of Israel, and from God? According to Romans chapter 1. So there was an airport prankster personality, skin scam. But I thought it was really interesting to see black holes here. And there are a number of large black holes lurking in dwarf galaxies that have previously been overlooked by astronomers. Our own Milky Way galaxy, supermassive black hole, has been recently discovered by newly discovered black holes, whatever that means. Repetitive, right? Despite its gigantic spiral nature, the Milky Way was created by the merger of many dwarf galaxies in the southern sky. And who did that? The Most High God. You're right, absolutely. For instance, the Magellanic Clouds are dwarf galaxies that are destined to merge with the Milky Way. And they're trying to make it all do what it want to do. God set things in place for a reason, for his good pleasure. Then science comes along and try to manipulate and mimic everything God does. That's what it said. Be not deceived. God shall not be mocked, y'all. Although they're doing a pretty good job at it, it's not going to prevail. You just have to be wise enough to see it and acknowledge it and choose to either believe it, go along with it, or not. Stand on your faith in the Word of God and resist all of this. As the dwarfs enter the Milky Way, They may bring with them a central black hole thousands or millions of times bigger than our sun. That could be swallowed by the central supermassive black hole. Now remember the dark ages back in 400 BC or whatever to like 800 BC, the migrations of people all around this world trying to get away from the damn devils, the Romans, right? Anyway, they've been trying to cause another darkness. It's all about darkness. So when I saw black holes, I said, okay, God. So there's strange things going on, not only in the earth, but in the sky as well. So we're going to take a quick look at this video here. Hold on, let me get to where I was. I don't remember what. Oh, I might have been here. Look, listen. All right, listen.
When I entered the field of radio astronomy as a student, I was told about this enigma, this mysterious radio source Sagittarius star at the heart of our galaxy. It's very exciting here today to show you this best ever image of that enigma Sagittarius star.
The similarity between these images is fantastic, and that's because we think that black holes are described by just a few parameters. These are punctures in space-time so severe that it doesn't really matter how you light up the black hole, it's going to appear the same, almost from any direction too. Even though it's significantly smaller in size than M80.
All right, hold on, y'all. I just remembered something. Let me do this real quick. This is, yes, I forgot to do this, y'all, but I will link all, give everybody credit where credit is due. I subscribe to the videos I'm using, to the channels. Let me just see if this is going to come up. I want to go ahead and insert my fair use clause right here. I hope it comes up. Are you going to come up? So anyway, fair use being used here. I will give credit where credit is due. Eventually it will pop up, but until then, let's keep listening.
7. Sagittarius star displays the same telltale warping of space-time predicted by Einstein's theory of general relativity offered over a century ago. And it was important confirmation because when you see one black hole, even though the M87 result was extremely clear, seeing the second one really confirms it. Okay?
Why do people want to see black holes? Why don't they want to see the light? The light that God already put in this world that men comprehended not and rejected. That was his word to make you illuminate from within. They want you to see outwardly all this darkness, all this stuff that can cause you fear, so that you will continue to believe that science and the church is more powerful than God and his word.
One is promising, two is now certainty.
Black holes are destructive forces because they are sort of graveyards of stars, but they may also have a
Destructive forces. Remember, God, he's the way, the truth, and the life. Okay, that Bible says in Isaiah, you talk about no weapon formed against me shall prosper, and that bottom verse says, any tongue that rise against me thou shalt condemn. But then there's a verse right before that, I believe, that said God created the blacksmith to destroy the destroyer. That's the only destruction you want, is that destroyer of God to destroy the wicked one, okay? But these people are out here with the wickedness, and you don't want to believe that they're destroyers of this universe. And when you destroy the universe, you generally destroy the inhabitants thereof, especially on planet Earth.
creative potential because they regulate star formation as matter falls in. They become very energetic, blow out gas, and their outflows may actually create turbulence and distribute matter around in the galaxy. And so maybe some.
What does this have to do with God and God's people living a better life, being illuminated? These people are sick in their mind with this. So I'm going to link that down below. Let's carry on. Y'all understand that there's black holes all over the place. And some of the things that's being invented, such as September 29th, 1954. Uh-oh, that was 30 minutes, y'all. Give it another 30 minutes and I'm going to be done, hopefully before then. September 29th, 1954 is the CERN. The organization called CERN was invented. And CERN has a lot, I believe they go hand, they work with NASA. They created this hadron collider, and it's causing a lot of damage. Of course, you know they've been dealing with messing with global warming and the ozone, the universe, period. Everything that God set in place to make good for the people to consume, science found a way to oppose it and go against it and cause destruction out of it. All right. So CERN, let's go ahead and get into it, because you think these black holes and things like that just exist for whatever reason, but let's see. CERN is responsible for what's called the Large Hadron Collider. The Large Hadron Collider, the LHC, is the world's largest and most powerful particle accelerator. It first started up on September 10th, 2008. Now, this is the Hadron Collider. CERN, those responsible for this, started September. It said 29th, right? 1954. So they've been at this a long time, all right? So basically, let's read this right here. In April 22, just passed, CERN restarted the Large Hadron Collider after more than 3 years of maintenance and upgrades. And this thing, we are going to find out, is going to run for a pretty long time. Alright, so I want to see if I can get you a picture of it, and if not, now when I did the measurements of this thing, you see how it looks? It's like a long tube, it's like a tunnel. If it was symmetrically the same size all the way down, it's, you know, length and width, and it could very well have created that little hole we see over there in Chile, right? But when I did the research on the collider, once, and remember, this thing is a magnet, so it can probably carve out and cut out any mass or any matter it wants, right? In the width and in the depth that it needs it to do. They can just start sucking particles out, and baby, I don't know. It's something to look into if you're into all of this. So the Large Hadron Collider could very well have magnetized some particles up out of Chile and caused that sinkhole that we're talking about. So anyway, now that you guys know what it looks like a little bit, it was first started up September 10th, 2008, and remains the latest addition to CERN's accelerator complex. The LHC consists of 27 kilometer ring of superconducting magnets with a number of accelerating structures to boost the energy of the particles along the way. So it has a wide circumference, y'all. It's like um 16.6 miles, or 27.5 kilometers or something to that effect. So that alone is too big for 82 feet. It would need to be like 87,500 and something feet in order for that the hadron collider itself to fit down in that hole. but they may have something else. Remember, this has been going on for a pretty long time. All right, so that's that. Let's move right along. Here's some more information on Wikipedia when it comes to CERN and when it comes to the Hadron Collider edition of CERN, the newest edition to CERN. You guys can read through all of this yourself if you are interested. Again, there is a lot going on in this world, and unfortunately, we don't want to tie the pieces together with the Most High God. He says, I am the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and the end. And there's a lot of entities out here trying to disprove God. And they use science, they use organizations like CERN, like NASA, like Russia and Putin, and all these other people that go up in space trying to either do two things. If God says in Isaiah in Revelations 1 and 8, what he say over here? He says, I am the I'm Alpha, I am the Omega, the beginning and the end. I don't care what you see. It may look like I'm sitting up here letting these people get away with it, but I want my sons and daughter who the earth is manifesting and groaning and moaning for to manifest themselves, to speak out against this, to resist this, to let them know God is still on the throne. And that's what we do over here on Religion Wing TV, right? But look, he says, I am the one who is, who always was, regardless of what they told you in church and through science and through school and all the other entities of hell they got out here for us to learn from, right? And who is still to come at any given time. The Messiah can come. But according to what we know, I told you he already came, established the beautiful kingdom of heaven and the earth. And science and the church and other entities destroyed that vision, and now all you know is science, all you know is the church. And all God did was send his word in the earth so we could be better people and live a better life in the midst of all the wickedness that was going on. And they create the church and tell you this is the best way to live. And it has the most wickedness about itself. So pay attention, y'all. God says, I am to come. And what science do, I don't care who up there, they perched on them little planets out there, them little galaxies, looking to see, one, if they can see the coming of the Lord, the second coming according to Christianity or whatever, and if they can stop it from happening. That's why they're trying to send all this stuff out to space to change the trajectory of things. And they want to see if they can see him coming on a cloud. They gonna blow that bitch right out of the sky. I'm trying to tell you, I've been meditating on this for a long time. Why they spend so much time up in space? And God keeps showing me it has to do with heaven. It has to do with Satan trying to get back to a place he once belonged and can no longer go. Everybody, that's why Paul told you when his Jesus came on the scene, he immediately went to heaven. And y'all look outwardly instead of inwardly. See, the Messiah who came before the Jesus of the church taught you to look inward. The Jesus of the church teach you to look outward. God sent his son to the earth to build the kingdom up in the earth. They want you to wait for your many mansions and all of that until you get to a place called heaven, because they destroyed what the Messiah came and gave to us already. So when I hear a lot of people say, I can't wait for God to give us what we need, he already did. And church disguised itself as the angel of light and gave you something different. So you will no longer believe in your first love, like the Bible says. All right, like it all starts to make sense, y'all. So now God says, I am the one who is still to come. And they've been even J. Edgar Hoover said, we will not allow another Messiah to touch down on the face of the earth. We will kill off anything like Martin Luther King, who they say was liberal and had his white ideologies, but he was a candidate. Honorable Elijah Muhammad was a candidate. Of course, Malcolm X, and then a dude named Carmichael Stokely, or something like that. Had a chance at being that Messiah. I tell you, Bob Marley. I tell you, Haile Selassie. Hell, I tell you, you and I. They just don't let people listen to us because we really do electrify people and bring people together. Anybody else out here is really dividing people still, like the enemy told them to, and causing people to be dull in their thinking so they can't. It's energy in us that need to be tapped into so we can electrify, so we can magnify God again and not this world of things such as science and the church. It's getting out of control. So Wikipedia your way all the way around. We are basically talking about an 82-foot wide, 650 feet deep sinkhole. And I'm like, how the hell they got the measurements? Who? I look. If I create a cake, right, I could tell you the measurements. Or if I make an outfit, I could tell you the measurements. That's only if I created it. I couldn't tell you it if I didn't do it. And God is very precise about the things He's going to do. He's precise about the warnings He gave us in our judgments and all of this. I told you a lot of things that's created to put fear in you is not of God. God don't got to put fear in you to make you obey Him. God will give you a free will and said, do what you will. The choice is yours. But it's other people out here fearing that if they can't control you no more, you will wake up from their wickedness and begin to see stuff like we are doing right now for what it really is. So they use fear tactics. They use slavery. They use police brutality. They use pandemics and stuff like that to keep you under control, to keep you from not realizing they've been lying to you this whole time. And as we read here, local mayor Cristobal Zuniga spoke of the fear held by nearby residents of accessing mining in the area. Now, if this would have happened around the country somewhere other than the Americas, American people wouldn't have that much fear. But because it's the Americas and South America is really close to home, people are so afraid in themselves right now. What's going to happen next? Oh my God, we better go vote. And as if that's the answer to everything. When these people keep showing you, no matter how much you vote, there's things coming into this world that's not of God, and you're allowing it through these said portals and openings, and ignorance is the greatest portal for the devil to travel in anybody's mind. And once it get there, you manifest it by believing in it, by being afraid of it, succumbing to it, thinking it's the only way. And as Paul told the early people of the church, thinking it's the only way of God. This is the only way, and that's not true. That's not true. So y'all look, I was on to the next thing. I said, Lord, what's some strange things that happened in 2022? The weirdest things that happened since 2022, because I'm going to show you on April 22nd, 2022, it is known as Earth Day, okay? On April 22nd, 2022, CERN opened up its Hadron Collider to run for the next 4 years. And after that, a lot of weird stuff started happening in the world. And if you don't think this Hadron Collider that has all this magnetic force and electric energy ain't making shit happen in the universe, y'all people, come on now. Y'all better go back and watch Sid the Science Guy, because he taught you back then. Well, at least I picked up on it that he was a little wicked and evil, and some of that stuff he was teaching. So some of the weird things, y'all. Some of the weird things. The shroud, the one thing that got me is the Shroud of Turin. Some of the weird things happening since the 22nd of April. It says this week. All right, so a challenge surrounding the Shroud of Turin, a bizarre creature sighted in Argentina, and a ghost granny terrorizing students in South Africa were among the strange and unusual stories to cross our desk this week. And this is coming from American Top 10, Ryan Seacrest, Top 40, American Top 40. So, as serious students of the strange and unusual, now mysterious creatures akin to Bigfoot are not solely an American phenomenon. In the past week saw one of the famed cryptids international cousins pop up in the news when a farmer in Argentina reported encountering a terrifying bipedal beast known as a Yucama, whatever that is. This is the Shroud of Turin. All right, remember they said when the Messiah was in the wrapped in his clothes and they put the alabaster box and the anointment on him, they laid him in the tomb, they rolled the tomb away, and there was a cloth, and in that cloth there was an imprint of his face, of his body stature, right? So this is weird. This happened on April 22nd, the same day they opened up that Hadron Collider. The same day is considered Earth Day, right? There was a lot of strange stuff going on in the Earth. Pay attention, people. So it says the Shroud of Turin found itself in the spotlight this past week when a filmmaker issued a rather audacious challenge to the British Museum, offering them $1 million if they could duplicate the iconic relic. Director David Rolfe put forward the high stakes challenge in response to the institution's long-standing claim that the legendary image seen on the cloth is actually a medieval hoax. Skeptical of that assertion, he urges that the museum ought to be able to replicate the shroud if it really is fake, and he's willing to pay them a hefty reward if they can pull off the miraculous feat. So they consider it to be fake, but it's a miracle. It's a miraculous feat if they can do it, right? Meanwhile, in somewhat similar story, a priest in upstate New York, and that wouldn't be me, y'all. I'm in upstate New York, but I'm not a priest, okay? Was stunned when he opened church on Easter morning and spotted a marking on the floor that he believes was an image of Jesus Christ. And y'all remember when Juanita Bynum and the said Bishop Jamal Bryant, what is his name, Bryant too? Is that Bynum and Bryant? Jamal Bryant, Juanita Bynum. They was down in Maryland area somewhere, DMV area somewhere, his church down there, and they was like they slept in the church for 24 hours, like a week. I don't know. And all of a sudden they said appeared. Oh, let me show you who they said. I gotta show you who they said appeared in the church, y'all. I gotta show you the image of who they said appeared in his church. Bynum. Image. Let me put image.